Now let us discuss the other topic, that is air. Air. Our Earth is surrounded our Earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air called atmosphere. Huge. పెద్ద బ్లాంకెట్ తో సరౌండ్ అయి ఉందంట మన అట్మాస్ఫియర్. మన ఎర్త్. దాన్నే మనం అట్మాస్ఫియర్ అని పిలుస్తాం. హ్యూజ్ బ్లాంకెట్ ఆఫ్ ఎయిర్ నే మనం అట్మాస్ఫియర్ అని పిలుస్తాం. ఆల్ లివింగ్ బీయింగ్స్ on this earth depend on the atmosphere for their survival. All living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere for their survival. It provides the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of sun rays. It provides us the air we breathe and protect us from the harmful effects of sunrise. అది మనకి ఏం ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది? మనం పీల్చుకునే గాలి అండ్ హార్మ్ఫుల్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ సన్ రేస్ నుంచి ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. Without this blanket of protection, we would be baked alive by the heat of the sun. We would be baked alive అంటే కేక్ లాగా బేక్ అయిపోయి ఉంటాం. We would be baked alive by the heat of the sun during day and get frozen during night. We would be baked alive. What do you mean by baked? To cook something food by heating or to make something very hot. So, mm, without blanket of protection, we would be baked alive by the heat of the sun during the day and get frozen during the night. So, it is these mass of air that made us temperature on the earth livable. So, it is this mass of air that has made the temperature. ఆ ఎయిర్ టెంపరేచర్ని ఎలా చేసింది? మన ఎర్త్ మీద కలిగేలాగా టెంపరేచర్ని చేసింది. ఎర్త్ livable. Let us recap. Our earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air called atmosphere. All living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere for their survival. It provides us air we breathe. Provide it provide us air we breathe and protects us from harmful sun rays. Without this blanket of protection, we would be baked alive, very hot alive by the heat of the sun during day and get frozen during night. So it is this mass of air made temperature that we can livable. And next, composition of atmosphere. Do you know the air we breathe is in while breathing is actually a mixture of many gases. Nitrogen, oxygen are two gases which make up the bulk of atmosphere. Atmosphere లో ఎయిర్ అండ్ నైట్రోజన్ మేడ్ అప్ ఆఫ్ బల్క్ ఆఫ్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్ అంట. కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్, నైట్రోజన్ విచ్ మేక్ బల్క్ ఆఫ్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్. నైట్రోజన్, ఆక్సిజన్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందంట. Carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, and hydrogen are found in lesser quantities. Nitrogen, oxygen elements atmosphere లో ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయంట. Carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, and hydrogen are found in lesser quantities. Apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in air. Tiny dust particles also present in air. Dust particles కూడా ఉంటాయంట. The pie chart gives you a percentage of different constituents of air. చూడు, oxygen 21% ఉంది, nitrogen 78% ఉంది, all other 0.04, argon 0.93, carbon dioxide 0.03. So the pie chart gives you nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the air. When we inhale, we take some amount of nitrogen into our lungs and exhale it. But plants need hydrogen for their survival. Plants need hydrogen. Plants need hydrogen for their survival. They cannot take they cannot take nitrogen directly from the air. Bacteria that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change its form so that plants can use and change its forms into ammonia, nitrate, అలా form చేస్తుంది. Oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in the air. Humans and animals take oxygen from the air as they breathe. Green plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. In this way, oxygen content in the air remains constant. If we cut trees, then these balance get disturbed. Why oxygen remains constant in the air? Because of photosynthesis. So if we cut trees, then these balance get disturbed. Carbon dioxide is another important gas. Okay. Carbon dioxide is the carbon dioxide is another important gas. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their ఇందుకు green plants ఫుడ్ ఫుడ్ తయారు చేసుకోవడానికి కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ యూస్ చేసి ఆక్సిజన్ వదులుతాయి అంట. హ్యూమన్స్ యానిమల్స్ కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ వదులుతారు హ్యూమన్స్ ఆర్ యానిమల్స్. The amount of carbon dioxide released by the humans or animals seems to be equal to the amount used by the plants, which make perfect balance. However, the balance is upset. ఎందుకు upset అవుతుంది? By burning of fuels such as coal and oil, they add billions of tons of carbon dioxide into atmosphere each year. As a result, the increased volume of carbon dioxide is affecting the Earth's weather and climate. ఏంటంట కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ అనేది అనదర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ గ్యాస్. గ్రీన్ ప్లాంట్స్ యూస్ కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ టు మేక్ దేర్ ఫుడ్ అండ్ రిలీజ్ ఆక్సిజన్. హ్యూమన్స్ ఆర్ యానిమల్స్ రిలీజ్ కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్. Humans or animals release carbon dioxide. The amount of carbon dioxide released by humans seems to be equal to the amount used by plants, which make a perfect balance. However, the balance is upset by burning of fuels. Upset అయిపోతుంది by burning of fuels such as coal and oil. They add billions of tons of carbon dioxide. ఎందుకు అప్సెట్ అవుతుంది అన్నది తర్వాత పాయింట్లు ఇచ్చాడు చూడు. ఇది పారాగ్రాఫ్ లో సెంటెన్స్ ఫార్మేషన్ ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. They add billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. As a result, connection. As a result, the increased volume of atmosphere is affecting Earth's weather and climate. Now, structure of atmosphere. Our atmosphere is divided into 5 layers. This layer is first is troposphere. There are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. Telangana state and Maharashtra exo. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Troposphere is important layer of the atmosphere. The average height is 13 kilometers. Induku important to the air we breathe exists here. The air we breathe exists here. Almost all weather phenomena like rainfall, fog, hailstorm, Vadagalvana occur in these layers. Then average height to 13 kilometers. The air we breathe exists here. Almost all the weather phenomena like rainfall, fog, hailstorm occur in this layer. Now, stratosphere. Above the troposphere lies above దానిపైన troposphere పైన ఉంటుంది stratosphere. ఎంతవరకు ఎక్స్టెండ్ ఉంటుంది? 50 కిలోమీటర్స్ వరకు. దిస్ లేయర్ is ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఫ్రీ ఫ్రమ్ క్లౌడ్స్. క్లౌడ్స్ నుంచి చాలా ఫ్రీ అండ్ అసోసియేటెడ్ విత్ వెదర్ ఫెనామినా. కానీ అసోసియేటెడ్ విత్ వెదర్ ఫెనామినా అండ్ మేకింగ్ కండిషన్స్. వెదర్కి weather associated with other phenomena, making condition most ideal for flying aeroplanes. One more important feature of stratosphere is that it contains layer of ozone layer kanda, a layer of ozone gas which protects us from harmful rays from sun. Next, mesosphere. This is the third layer of atmosphere. It lies above the stratosphere, extends up to 80 kilometers. Meteoroids burn up in this layer on entering from the sun. Entering from the space, meteoroids. Asteroids అంటే tiny bodies revolving around the sun. Meteoroids అంటే tiny particles. Meteoroids. Meteoroids from the space burn up here. Mesosphere. And mesosphere. No. Meteoroids, meso. Next, thermo. It is thermo in thermosphere. Temperature rises very rapidly within the increasing height. హైట్ పెరిగే కొద్ది టెంపరేచర్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుందంట థర్మోస్పియర్ అందుకే థర్మో అన్నాం. Ionosphere is the part of this layer. Ionosphere is the part of this layer. It extends between 800 to 400 kilometers. It extends between 800 to 400 kilometers. This layer helps in radio transmission. Radio waves transmitted from Earth and reflected back to the Earth by this layer. ఎర్త్ నుంచి ట్రాన్స్మిట్ అవుతుంది ఈ థర్మోస్ఫియర్ కి మళ్ళీ ఎర్త్ కి రిఫ్లెక్ట్ అవుతుంది reflected back to the earth by this layer. Next is exosphere. The uppermost layer of the atmosphere is known as exosphere. Uppermost. This layer has very thin air. చాలా thin air ఉంటుందండి. Light gases like helium, hydrogen float into the space from here. Space లోకి మనం తెలుసు మనకి మన నాలెడ్జ్ ప్రకారం helium and hydrogen gases are the most uh, important elements that made tiny bodies that we call planets in the space in the solar system. So from where this helium and hydrogen gas getting? From exosphere. So this is what about. Now weather and climate. Now we talked about weather and climate. Is it going to rain today? Will it be bright and sunny today? How many times have we heard this from anxious cricket fans speculating the fate of one day match? What do you mean by speculating? Speculating means making opinions, what might happen, what happened based on opinions rather than facts. If we imagine our body be a radio and mind is a speaker, whether it's something that fiddles with its control knobs, if we imagine our body to be a radio and mind is a speaker, and body radio, mind demo speaker, whether it's something that fiddles with its control knobs, whether is these hour to hour, day to day condition of the atmosphere, whether is these hour to hour, day to day condition of an atmosphere, a hot or humid weather may make one irritable. A pleasant breezy weather may make one cheerful and even plan for outing. Pleasant and breezy weather make someone cheerful and even plan for outing. What do you mean by cheerful? ఉల్లాసంగా, సంతోషంగా, హృదయపూర్వకంగా, happy and optimistic way, positive. Weather can change dramatically, suddenly from day to day. However, the average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time represents the climate. However, the average weather condition of a place for longer period of time represents climate of a place. Now you can understand why we have daily weather forecast. Weather and climate ki difference చెప్తున్నాడు ఇక్కడ. Hot or humid climate, hot or humid weather makes one irritable, and a pleasant breezy weather makes one cheerful and even plan for outing. So weather can change dramatically from day to day. However, the average weather condition of a place, average ga, for longer period of time represents climate. Average weather condition for longer period of time in a particular place represent climate of a place. Now you can understand why we have daily weather forecast. Temperature. Temperature you feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere. మనం ఫీల్ అయ్యే టెంపరేచర్ ఆఫ్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్. The degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. The degree of hotness and coldness of air is known as temperature. The temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night but also from season to season. ఉదయానికి సాయంత్రానికి టెంపరేచరే కాదు సీజన్ టు సీజన్ కూడా మారుతుంది. సమ్మర్స్ ఆర్ హాటర్ దాన్ వింటర్స్. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature. Important factor ఇది. Important factor that influences the distribution of temperature, that is insolation. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. Insolation అంటే incoming solar energy. Intercepted అంటే to stop somebody from going from one place to another place or arriving. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator and towards the poles. The amount of insolation అంటే ఏంటి? Incoming insolation is the incoming solar energy. Your incoming solar energy. Let us highlight that. Insolation means incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. ఎత్తు దాన్ని ఆపేస్తుంది ముందుకెళ్ళకుండా. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. పోల్స్ నుంచి ఈక్వేటర్ నుంచి పోల్స్కి వెళ్ళేసరికి డిక్రీజ్ అయిపోతుంది అంట. Therefore, therefore, temperatures decreases in the same manner. Therefore, అలాగే టెంపరేచర్ కూడా డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. So, insolation is similar to temperature of the atmosphere. Now, do we understand why poles are covered with snow? If the earth temperature is rises too high, it would become too warm. Temperature ఎక్కువ రైజ్ అయితే ఇది too warm అయిపోతుంది. Some crops to grow. Temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages. So the concentrated metals in buildings and the asphalt of roads gets heated up during the day. This heat is released during night. You know that higher than temperature in cities is higher than that of villages. The concrete and metals in buildings and the asphalt of roads. Asphalt. Asphalt. Asphalt of roads and the tar road gets heated up during the day. The heat is released during the night. Also, the crowded high-rise buildings of the cities trap the warm air and thus raise the temperature of the cities. Crowded buildings trap warm air, thus raise the temperature of cities. Let's see again. Temperature. Temperature you feel every day is the temperature of atmosphere. Man feel a temperature of atmosphere. The degree of hotness and coldness of air is known as temperature. The degree of hotness and coldness of air is known as temperature. The temperature of atmosphere changes not only between day and night, but also from season to season temperature change అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation, means incoming solar radiation that is intercepted by the earth. The amount of insolation decreases from equator towards the poles. ఈక్వేటర్ దగ్గరే బాగానే ఉంటుంది, పోల్స్కి వెళ్ళేసరికి డిక్రీజ్ అయిపోతాయి. అందుకే టెంపరేచర్ డిక్రీజ్ ఇన్ ద సేమ్ మేనర్. దట్ ఈస్ వై ద రీజన్ why the poles covered with snow. If the earth atmosphere rises too high, it would become too warm for some crops to grow. Temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages. Why? The concrete and the metals in the buildings and asphalt of roads gets heated by during the day. This heat is released during the night. Also, the crowded high-rise buildings of cities trap the warm air. Crowded high-rise buildings of cities trap the warm air and thus raise the temperature of the cities. Now let's look at air pressure. Now you will be surprised to know the air above us presses us with a great force on our bodies. You will be surprised to know that now you will be surprised to know that the air above us presses with great force on our bodies. Air మన పైన ఎయిర్ ఉంటది కదా అది presses us with a great force on our bodies. However, we don't even feel it. మనం దాన్ని ఫీల్ అవ్వం. This is because air presses us from all directions and our body exerts a counter pressure. Our body exerts a counter pressure. Air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the earth's surface. The pressure exerted by the weight of air on the earth's surface. As we go up layers of atmosphere layers పైకి వెళ్ళే కొద్దీ the pressure falls rapidly. The air pressure is highest at sea level and decreases with height. Air pressure is sea level దగ్గర highest ఉంటుంది and decreases with height. Horizontally, the distribution of air pressure is influenced by the temperature of air at given place. Horizontal గా చెప్పాలంటే the distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature. The distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature of air at a given place. In areas where temperature is high, temperature ఎక్కడైతే high ఉంటుందో, then the air gets heated and dries. This creates low pressure area. Low pressure area is associated with cloudy skies and white weather. Temperature ఎక్కడైతే హైగా ఉంటుందో the air gets heated and rises. This creates low pressure area. Low pressure area is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. In areas having low temperature, the air is cold. It therefore heavy. Heavy air sinks and creates high pressure area. Heavy air creates high pressure area. High pressure area is associated with clear and sunny skies. Clear and sunny skies. The air always move from high pressure area to low pressure area. So this is about air pressure. Let us recap. Air pressure. You will surprised to know air above us presses us with great force on our bodies. మన ఎయిర్ అయితే మన చుట్టుపక్కల ఉన్న ఎయిర్ మనని ఒక ఫోర్స్ తో మన బాడీ మీద ప్రెస్ చేస్తుందంట. దాన్ని ఫీల్ అవ్వం. ఎందుకు ఫీల్ అవ్వం? ఎయిర్ ప్రెసెస్ ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ మన అన్ని డైరెక్షన్ నుంచి ప్రెస్ చేస్తుందంట. అవర్ బాడీ ఎగ్జర్ట్స్ ఏ కౌంటర్ ప్రెషర్. అయితే మన బాడీ కౌంటర్ ప్రెషర్ని ఎగ్జర్ట్ చేస్తుందంట. అందుకే మనం ఫీల్ అవ్వం. సో ఎయిర్ ప్రెషర్ ఈస్ డిఫైన్డ్ యాజ్ ద ప్రెషర్ ఎగ్జర్టెడ్ బై ద వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ ఎయిర్ ఆన్ ద ఎర్త్ సర్ఫేస్. The pressure exerted by the weight of air and the weight of atmosphere on the Earth's surface. As we go up layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. Pressure rapid గా fall అయిపోతుంది. The air is highest at sea level. Air sea level దగ్గర highest ఉంటుందంట. Air pressure. Air pressure is highest at sea level and decreases with height. Sea level దగ్గర highest pressure ఉంటుంది. కానీ sea level నుంచి height పెరిగే కొద్దీ decrease అవుతుంది air pressure. Horizontally, the distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature of air. హారిజెంటల్ అది హైట్ వెర్టికల్ గా చూసుకున్నాం. హారిజెంటల్ గా చూస్తే ద ఎయిర్ ప్రెషర్ ఈస్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ప్రొపోర్షనల్ టు టెంపరేచర్ ఆఫ్ ఎయిర్. ఇన్ ఏరియాస్ వేర్ టెంపరేచర్ ఈస్ హై, ఎక్కడైతే టెంపరేచర్ హైగా ఉంటుందో ద ఎయిర్ గెట్స్ హీటెడ్ అండ్ రైజెస్. దిస్ క్రియేట్స్ లో ప్రెషర్ ఏరియా. టెంపరేచర్ ఎక్కడైతే హైగా ఉంటుందో లో ప్రెషర్ ఏరియా క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. దానివల్ల క్లౌడీ స్కైస్ అండ్ వెట్ వెదర్. క్లౌడీ స్కైస్ అండ్ వెట్ వెదర్. అది ఎక్కడైతే టెంపరేచర్ తక్కువ ఉండి ఎయిర్ కోల్డ్ ఉంటుందో, టెంపరేచర్ తక్కువ ఉండి ద ఎయిర్ ఈస్ కోల్డ్. ఇక్కడ టెంపరేచర్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటే ఎయిర్ గెట్స్ హీటెడ్ అప్. ఆపోజిట్ ఇది దేర్ ఫోర్ హెవీ అయిపోతుంది అంట. కోల్డ్ అవడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుంది, హెవీ అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు స్నో బాగా మంచు కురిసేస్తే అది అక్కడ హెవీ అయిపోతుంది. హెవీ ఎయిర్ సింక్స్ అండ్ క్రియేట్స్ హై ప్రెషర్ ఏరియా. ప్రెషర్ పెరిగిపోతుంది. అక్కడ ప్రెషర్ తగ్గిపోతుంది. హై ప్రెషర్ ఈజ్ అసోసియేటెడ్ విత్ క్లియర్ అండ్ సన్నీ స్కైస్. అందుకే మబ్బేసింది వర్షం వచ్చేస్తుంది అంటారు కదా, అది. ద ఎయిర్ ఆల్వేస్ మూవ్ ఫ్రమ్ హై ప్రెషర్ ఏరియా టు లో ప్రెషర్ ఏరియా. నెక్స్ట్ ఈజ్ విండ్.